Good day, I am Teacher Zell. In this video, I will teach you regarding the concepts that you must study for the licensure examination. Sa bawat review question ay may inihanda akong sagot at explanation sa bawat choices. Sana makatulong ako sa inyo. Good luck, Let Passers! Reminders during the review. Remember that you are here for the LET, to review the possible questions and concepts that will appear on the exam. Now, I will teach you those concepts, but it is your duty to further your reading to dig deep beyond that. Be a wide reader because anything can be on a test. Otherwise, this English review could also be beneficial for professional use, personal use, and for additional knowledge. Marahil marami sa inyo ang nagtataka, bakit nga ba ang lawak ng coverage ng English, General English? So, mula sa slide nito hanggang sa mga susunod pang slide, i-explain ko sa inyo bakit nga ba kasama sa LET itong mga ito. The first one is study and thinking skills. This area is part of the LET, enabled to ensure that you are a licensed professional that thinks well and values education and studying significantly. Moreover, being proficient in study and thinking skills makes you an effective citizen and professional. So, syempre, pag nagkaroon kayo ng lisensya, no, hindi lang kayo pwedeng bastang may lisensya lang. Dapat, marunong din kayong mag-isip and you value education and studying significantly. Kasi syempre, dahil kayo nga ay magkakaroon na ng lisensya, magiging role model na kayo. At parte dito, dapat magaling kayo when it comes to study and thinking skills para yung kaalaman ninyo, ma-share nyo rin sa ibang mga tao. Kahit pa kayo ay maging teacher talaga o kahit nagamitin nyo lang siya bilang isang lisensya kasi professional kayo. No? At bilang professional, hindi nyo dapat sarilinin yung kaalaman ninyo. I-share nyo rin dapat ito sa iba, sa pamangkin ninyo, sa anak ninyo, o sa kapitbahay. Writing in the discipline. Part of becoming a licensed professional, one must be knowledgeable and effectual writer in the universal lingo, English language. Isa pa to, no? Hindi lang basta kayo magkakaroon ng lisensya, pero pag nagkaroon kayo ng lisensya, dapat alam nyo rin kung ano yung mga grammar rules and structure. Lalo pa ngayon, no, sa mundo, ang ginagamit na talaga natin ay English language, no? At bilang globalized citizen ng Pilipinas, you should be able to communicate well with other countries. Ayan. At yun nga ay sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng English. No? Hindi lang kayo basta magkakaroon ng lisensya. Sinisigurado ng PRC na kayo ay magkakaroon ng lisensya na may galing din kayo sa pakikipagtalastasan gamit ang English language. Speech and oral communication. A licensed professional must also be effective in communicating using the universal lingo, English language. So, hindi lamang sa sulat kayo magaling o sa pagtatype ng English language, pero sa pakikipag-usap din, sa salita rin, no? Kailangan din ito bago kayo mahirang na professional talaga with license. Philippine literature, ito yung isa sa pinaka-nakakaloka sa lahat. Maraming nagtatanong siguro, bakit kailangan ko pa pag-aralan yung mga libro-libro? Author-author na yan. Hindi ko naman kailangan yan eh. So here, enable to accomplish a professional's duty to become a productive citizen, one must know the various Philippine literature that conveys message of hope, love, patriotism, and optimism in life. Ito nga yung sinasabi natin na pag may lisensya ka, teacher ka man o hindi, parte ng pagiging lisensya mo ay yung professionalism at yung dangal na dinadala mo para sa bayan. Kaya bago ka magka-lisensya, dapat alam mo itong mga Philippine literature na to. Kasi itong mga Philippine literature na to, hindi lang siya bastang ginawa. It has its essence. At ano nga yung essence niya? No? Hope, love, patriotism, optimism in life. Na mai-share mo sa iba. Kailangan ito sa buhay, kaya nandyan siya sa LET. World literature. This area is part of the LET, enabled to ensure that a licensed professional thinks globally by knowing the eclectic literature that shaped the world. Ito yung sinasabi ko dahil globalized citizen na tayo. No? So, okay, check. Marunong ka na magsulat in English. Check, kaya mo na makipag-usap in English. Pero anong topic? Paano mo sila kakausapin? How will you know their culture? Enable for you to know other people from another country, it's best to know first their literature. Kaya hindi ka lang ngayon basta lisensyadong tao. Ikaw ay lisensyadong tao na may alam sa kung anong nangyayari sa mundo. Yun yung essence ng world literature. I hope I was able to make it clear kung bakit nga ba yung mga areas na yun ay nilagay dito sa General English. Okay? For now, I'm going to lay to you the general tip on how to answer a multiple item test. First, read the entire question. Yun ang pinakauna. Basahin mo yung question. Huwag kang skip agad na, ay, alam ko na to, makabasa ka ng isang salita, sasagutan mo na agad. No. First is to read the entire question. Second, get the keyword in the question. So, pag nabasa mo na, okay, first one, binasa mo. Second one, inintindi mo. Third, get the keyword in the question. Ano ba yung tinatanong? Kasi most of the time, napakahaba. No? Naka-isang paragraph na yung isang item lang. Pero actually, isa lang ang tanong doon. You have to find it. So, third step, kapag ka nalaman mo na yung keyword dun sa question, sagutin mo nang nasa isip mo pa lang. Ano kayang sagot doon? Fourth, look at the choices. So, eliminate irrelevant choices. Ano yung mga irrelevant choices? Yung mga choices na hindi naman talaga walang kinalaman dun sa tanong. Those choices that are not found on the question given. And those choices that are too broad or too specific kapag ka sobrang lawak or yung sobrang sobrang specific. Tanggalin mo yung mga choices na yun. Another tip is for you to eliminate negative or positive terms. For example, pansin mo sa question na ang hinihingi niya ay positive term. Di on the choices, eliminate the negative terms already. Or, otherwise, kapag ang hinihingi naman sa question ay negative term, di eliminate the positive ones already. Yan. Kasi kapag ka na-eliminate mo na yan, for example, A to D, o natanggal mo na yung hindi naman nakita sa question, natanggal mo na yung too broad or too specific, tapos natanggal mo pa yung term na hindi naman related, di mas less yung pag-iisipan mo ngayon. Step number 6, read every option and select the best choice. Ayan. So, may nangyayari, and ang daming times na nangyayari, na may dalawang options na talagang magkaparehas. Synonyms nga eh. But, the challenge is for you to get the answer that best suits the question. Ano ba yung tinatanong? Okay? So, uulitin ko, ang daming beses na may dalawa dyan magkamukha, parehong-pareho ng meaning. Pero, merong pagkakaiba yan. You just have to find it and which word is the most suitable to the question. Okay. Step number 7, answer the easy ones first. Ito medyo tricky because sometimes there are types of people na mas inuuna nilang sagutan yung mahirap. Okay lang yun. And then there are types of people na mas inuuna nila yung madadali. No. So, step number 7 depends on your test-taking ability. 8, intelligent guess is the best. Yes, of course. For example, pagod ka na. Yan, kasi syempre, ang tagal ng exam, galing ka pang work. Or wala nang lumalabas sa isip mo, wag mong hayaan lang yung test paper. You should do intelligent guess kasi sayang yung items. Paano kung ang hindi mo nasagutan ay 30 items? O diba? Sayang, bagsak. So what you're going to do is to answer each item kahit ano pa man yan, intelligent guess. Kasi kahit papaano, there are chances na may tama yung sinagot mo kesa hindi ka sumagot. Okay. Step 9, not, never, sometimes, always. If you see this in options, do not answer this. Okay. Ang term natin dito is, they are the exaggerations. At kapag ka-exaggerated, they are not the answers. Okay. Number 10, the longer the better. Most of the time, yung pinakamahabang sagot na option, yun talaga yun. That's the best answer. Okay. 11, my tip is for you to read more famous Filipino writers and their contributions and famous works. Kasi nga, napakalawak ng scope ng LET. Okay. Same thing, ganun din kapag ka world literature. Read more about the famous writers, their contributions, and famous works. I hope everyone is ready. Let's try number 1. A readability discrepancy occurs when the reading level of books exceed the reading levels of the learners. In this occurrence, the learners encounter frustration and they fall short of the desired output. During this time, what can a student best do? The correct answer is letter B. So this type of question is a study and thinking skills question. The tip is for you first to analyze the question. So what is the question? What is the keyword? The keyword is a reading problem occurs or happens when the reading level of books is greater than the reading level of the learners. For example, the reading level of books ay para sa grade 6, pero ang learner ay grade 5 lang. So in this occurrence, the learners encounter frustration. The question is, we have to analyze the question, during this time, what can a student best do? Okay, ano daw ang pinakamagagawa ni student? So let's analyze the options. A. Give intellectual analysis of the selection. Aralin niya pa rin yung selection. B. Present an argument that the selection was not properly written. So magsabi siya na hindi po maayos yung pagkakasulat ng text. Hindi po para sa akin yung text. Letter C. Ask the instructor to peruse the material until understood. Sabihin niya, teacher, pakibasa nga po. Teacher, pakibasa nga po. Ulit, hindi ko naintindihan eh. Ulit pa nga po, pang third time. Letter D. Ask another student to read the material again. Classmate, basahin mo nga. Hindi ko naintindihan eh. Uy, classmate, number 3. Basahin mo nga. Hindi ko pa rin naintindihan. So the best answer here is letter B. Yun yung pinakamaganda niyang gagawin. Present an argument that the selection was not properly written, no? So, hindi para sa kanya. Okay. Number 2. What reading technique is used when the facilitator lets his pupils peruse a text while he marks mispronounced words? The correct answer is letter B, IRI. Why? When we say DRTA, or Direct Reading Thinking Activity, this is a reading comprehension strategy that guides students to make predictions based on what they have read. So, let us analyze the question. When the facilitator lets his pupils peruse a text while he marks mispronounced words. So, ang DRTA is for reading comprehension. Meron ba dyan yung mispronounced words na hinihingi ng question? Hindi. So, let's try RII. IRI is Informal Reading Inventory. So, this is a strategy teachers use in diagnosing a child's oral and silent reading. So, this is the best answer. SQ3R naman is a reading comprehension method. So, reading comprehension method pa rin siya katulad ng DRTA. So, SQ3R means survey, question, read, recite, and review. KWL chart, this is a graphic organizer, which means know, want, and learned. This is a reading technique when a student looks for a specific detail from a given paragraph. The correct answer is letter B. So when we say scanning, okay, so when you are looking for a specific information, ang information merong letter N, di ba? So kapag specific na information yung hinahanap mo, such as pangalan ng tao, number, date, location, ang sagot dyan, scanning. What you're doing is you're scanning. If you're getting information, may letter N, you do scanning. Pero, if you are looking for the main idea, ano ba yung topic? So, main idea, letter M, you do skimming. Yan, may letter M din. Okay? Previewing, a person read the text fast to look for the main idea or title before reading the entire text. So, sasabihin nyo siguro, magkapareho si skimming at si previewing. Hindi. So, you do skimming if you are answering a question. No, kapag ang question is, what is the main idea? Yan. So, you're doing skimming. Pero, you're doing previewing kapag hinahanap mo yung main idea kasi babasahin mo yung text. Okay. Generalizing, this is an act where a person was able to create new concept after reading a text. Yung nagkaroon siya ng conclusion after it. You should be ashamed of yourself for having such carnal desires. Carnal is synonymous to the word. On this item, we are talking about synonyms. So, gawin muna natin yung process of elimination. So, look at the sentence. You should be ashamed of yourself for having such carnal desires. Ano kaya yung word na carnal? Positive or negative term? Yes, it's a negative term. So, dapat, ang hanapin din natin sa choices ay negative term. Let's try the word conservative. Negative term ba siya? Actually, no. It's actually a positive one. It means adverse to change or innovation. What about the word unpretentious? Positive word din to. This means not attempting to please others. So, tanggalin si B, tanggalin si D. We are only left with A or C. Most of the time, when you say desires, bold na kagad yan. But actually, connotation lang to dito sa Philippines. Kasi there are meaning of bold. In other countries, pwedeng bold letters. And it is an adjective, which means a person or idea showing ability to take risk. We have the word worldly. This is the near synonym of the word carnal because it is concerned with material things rather than spiritual matters. Siguro kung wala si worldly, pwede mong isagot si bold. However, you have the word worldly. Ayan. Kaya nga, ito yung sinasabi ko na there are items na parang parehong-pareho. At feeling mo ito yung tamang sagot, but no. There is the best word that will best suit the sentence. And you have to choose the best one. You wouldn't prefer to be late for the meeting. We have a grammatical rule here, which means double negative. This states that there must only be one negative word in a sentence. Take a look at number 5. You would not prefer to be late for the meeting. Yan. So, meron ng not. So, tanggalin na natin yung si letter A, won't you? Okay. So, letter C, would have you, this is used only in the past tense, pag tapos na yung action. Letter D, okay, would have you been, have and been must always be put together. So, mali yung lalagyan mo siya ng you sa gitna. So, dapat have been. The best answer is letter B. He is the blank of the two friends. The correct answer on that item is letter B, taller. Because we are comparing two. The first is he and then the other one is the two friends. Two friends is counted as collective nouns. Therefore, we are comparing only two, the he and then the two friends. And when we are comparing two, we use the comparative degree here, wherein we add ER. In comparing adjectives, there are 3 degrees: positive, comparative, and superlative. When we say positive degree, this means no comparison. We are comparing nothing. For example, Razel is pretty. Here we use the base form of the adjective. For the comparative degree, this means that we are comparing two nouns. For example, Razel is prettier than Riza. Here we add ER or more. For example, sexier, bigger, smaller. Remember, do not add ER if you're going to use more. Superlative degree, here we are comparing two or more nouns. Maramihan na. For example, Razel is the prettiest in this room. Here we add EST or most. For example, sexiest, biggest, smallest. Remember, do not add EST if you're going to use most. When do we use more and most? We use more and most if the adjective has more than 2 syllables. For example, beautiful. It has 3 syllables, therefore we can't say beautifuler or beautifulest. You must add more, making it more beautiful, or most beautiful. Here, On the red box, you have here, do not add ER, EST, more or most to absolute adjectives. Pag sinabi nating absolute adjectives, yun na yun, sila na yun, wala ka nang idadagdag. For example, absent, dead, essential, final, ideal, perfect, round, straight, unique. You don't say more unique. Yan. Siguro may makikita kayo sa mga advertisements kapag ang English ay informal, pwede. But when it comes to business language, and tests, exams, yan, ang ginagamit natin is formal English. Kaya, you should not put more there. Ayan. So, mali yung straighter. Yan, straight. Yun na yun. Absolute adjective na siya. The rate of the new family house is pretty expensive for blank. Besides, we have more crucial family needs. The correct answer is letter A, us. Yan. So, we use the subjective form of the pronoun. So, when we say subjective pronoun, you're going to use this if it comes before the verb or the preposition. For example, he is dancing. So, andito yung dancing, andito yung pronoun, it comes before the verb. So, gagamitin mo yung mga subjective pronoun. Ano ba yung mga subjective pronouns? Itong nasa yellow box. I, you, he, she, it, we, they, who. Objective pronouns naman if it comes after the verb or the preposition. Example, the one dancing is him. So, ang verb dito is dancing. And after it, you can find him. Yan. So, after ng verb or preposition, use objective pronoun. Objective pronoun ay yung nasa blue box. What are those? Me, you, him, her, it, us, them, whom. Possessive pronouns naman, meaning there is ownership. Yan, parang boyfriend mo. Possess. Possess or possessive. Yan, possessive. Okay, for example, this dance step is his. Okay, so pag-aari niya yung dance step. Possessive pronouns are enclosed in the green box. For example, my, mine, your, yours, his, her, hers, its, our, ours, their, theirs, and whose. Let's try answering this. Okay. Number 1, Celia and Blanc will watch Pirates of the Caribbean tomorrow. The correct answer is I. Very good, because we are looking for the subjective pronoun. The type of pronoun is subjective because the pronoun can be found before the verb will watch. Number 2, please give this to him. Okay, because you have the preposition to, so after the preposition to is the objective pronoun him. 3, the girls forgot blank umbrella. Their umbrella. Since we are looking for their own possession of umbrella, so possessive form of the pronoun is the thing that we need. What is the opposite of the underlined word and a base motive? On this part, we are looking for the opposite. Kanina synonyms yung hinanap natin, ngayon naman opposite. And sadly, there is no keyword or context clue para malaman natin kung ito bang a base ay positive or negative term. Kaya ngayon, dito na papasok yung dapat wide reader ka. Dapat marami kang alam sa words. Especially mga words na madalas lumalabas sa let. Okay. So, a base, the best answer for this, the opposite of this, is the word downgraded. Okay? Kasi when you say a base motive, it's a positive word. Okay? So, we need a negative one, which means downgraded, to reduce someone's rank or level of importance. Actually, pwede pala natin magamit yung word na motive. Yan. So, maganda yung motibo niya. Dignified, positive term. So, ang kailangan natin is opposite, so negative. Tanggal na si dignified, tanggal na rin si motivated. Okay, we are left with B or C, and the best answer is letter B. Upright author supports his simplifications with blank examples. Looking back at the text, so upright author. So magaling daw na manunulat, supports his simplifications with anong klaseng examples? That means it should be concrete. Okay, tangible examples. Examples that are evident in real life. So let's make meaning out of the other options. When we say convenient, that means suited to personal comfort. Coherence, there is unity in writing. Ayan, all of the sentences pertain to the main idea. Well, concise, this means ideas or concepts that are written in a straightforward manner. How to make this sentence right? There is a philosophy that the first child receives more of the parents' consideration than other siblings, so firstborns tend to be more knowledgeable. The correct answer for that item is letter A. One must insert the comma after siblings. So, kailan ba ginagamit ang comma? So, first, we use comma to separate words or phrases. For example, Razel is energetic, loud, and small. Okay. We also use comma to separate two sentences, but put it before the words for and nor, but, or yet so. For example, Razel is pretty, comma, but she is tiny. Okay. Use the comma to separate a describing phrase. For example, Razel, comma, my friend, comma, is really loud. Also use a comma after an introductory phrase. First of all, it is so hot today. Use a comma for dates and places. For example, June 5, 2022, and Manila, Philippines. Which sound is a voiced affricate? The correct answer is letter C. In speech production, affricate pertains to consonant sounds that consist both a stop consonant. Examples are literal T, D, and P. Sounds like ch, check, J, and jump. So my tip here is to read and be familiar with English phonetics. What specific skill a student demonstrates if he or she used the word dad instead of using father? The righteous answer is letter B, semantics. When we say semantics, this is the study of the meanings of words. So, on that case, the kid used dad instead of using the word father because she knew that they belong to the same meaning. Phonology, this pertains to the study of the patterns of sound in a language. Morphology is the study of internal structure of words, how the words are formed. For example, the word reaction, paano ba siya nabuo? Ayan. So, yung phonology naman, yung study ng patterns ng sounds like b, k, d. Yan. And then, pragmatics naman, use of language in a context. Yan. For example, pragmatics believe na ang word ay may iba't ibang meaning. Depende sa pagkakagamit. For example, the word salvage. In another country, when you say salvage, that means to save. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, when you say salvage, papasalvage kita. So, papapatay, di ba? So, that's pragmatics. Also, the word pregnant. Commonly, when you say pregnant, that means buntis. But, in business terms, when you say pregnant, that means important. So, that's pragmatics. Jana can voice out combined letters to produce meaningful utterances. What basic reading skill is this? The answer is A, fluency. Fluency is the ability to read with speed, accuracy, and proper expression, while syntax is the arrangement of word and phrases to create a sentence. Phonemes, this pertains to the smallest unit of sound, while pause is a temporary stop in speech. This one is challenging. What is the difference between ice cream and ice cream? You got it right. The correct answer is letter B, juncture. Juncture is the set of features in speech that enable a hearer to detect a word or phrase boundary. For example, a name, an aim. Nitrate, nitrate. It swings, it swings. In Filipino, ito yung mga kita at kita. Tubo at tubo. Okay. While pitch, on the other hand, pertains to the highness or lowness of sound when speaking. Ayan, yung taas at baba ng tunog kapag nagasalita. Blending is the ability to join speech sounds together to make words, while enunciation is the act of pronouncing a word. Kasi may iba't ibang pronunciation ng words at iba-iba din kung paano yun bigkasin. That's enunciation. The Philippines is regarded as a blank country. English has been the lingua franca of the world since America got its international authority. Lingua franca means Number 17. The story of Maria Makiling belongs to which literary genre? Yes, Maria Makiling is a legend. When we say legend, this pertains to the stories of origin. So myth, on the other hand, is a story about gods and goddesses. Epic pertains to a long poem typically derived from ancient oral tradition, mostly about heroes and gods, while novel is a narrative prose of book length. Epistolary is a novel told through the medium of So kung nanonood kayo ng Bridgerton 1 and Bridgerton 2, kung kilala niyo si Lady Whistledown, ang tawag sa literature na ginagawa niya, sinusulat niya ay epistolary. It is a literary work in the form of letters. She was notable for the love verses she wrote. The correct answer is letter B, Ofelia Di Malanta. Ofelia Di Malanta, she had the Saya Award for writing, which is the highest literary award in Southeast Asia, while Paz Marquez Benitez is the author of The Dead Stars that is about forbidden love. Fernando Amor Solo, on the other hand, he was known as the grand old man of Philippine art. Sample works are The Mestiza and Sunday Morning Going to Town. Liwayway Arceo, that is her real name. Author of the book Teacher, it is about a couple who choose to become teachers. 20. Jose Garcia Villa's piece that discusses the glitches and disadvantages of marrying at an early age. It is letter B, Footnote to Youth. This talks about a 17-year-old Dodong who decides to marry his sweetheart Taeyang. Dodong's father tried to stop him, albeit Dodong is so stubborn. Letter A, How My Brother Leon Brought Home a Wife. This is a story of a man introducing his city-born wife to his more provincial family. Three Rats is a story about a woman who cheated to her male partner. While letter D, Have Come I'm Here is a book poetry written by Villa. Carl Sandburg penned Jazz Fantasia that has the first stanza, Drum on your drums, batter on your banjos, sob on the long, cool, winding saxophones. Go to it, O jazzmen. Which words illustrate alliteration? Just an information, alliteration is a figure of speech that deals with the repetition of the same letter or sound at the beginning of words. For example, if Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? In English poetry, a lyrical foot having one stressed syllable followed by one unstressed syllable is The correct answer is letter A, trocaic. Let us define metrical foot. This pertains to a group of two or three syllables forming a poetic rhythm. For example, once upon a midnight dreary. This is actually optameter because if you're going to read it by syllable, this line has 8 syllables. Once upon a midnight dreary. Okay. When we say trocaic, this means a metrical foot composed of two syllables, stressed followed by unstressed. Iambic, on the other hand, it is a metrical foot composed of two unstressed syllables followed by a stressed syllable. Pentatonic, actually, this is just a distractor. It is a name of a band. Anapestic, it's a metrical foot composed of two unstressed syllables followed by a stressed syllables. What book made by Boris Paternak concerning totalitarianism rule over Russia? The correct answer is letter B, Dr. Zhivago. Dr. Zhivago, during Russian Revolution, it tells the story of Russian people forced to live through many tragedies. On the other hand, War and Peace, this is written by Leo Tolstoy. The novel's primary setting is in the French invasion of Russia in 1812. This is the turning point of Napoleonic Wars. Animal Farm, this is written by George Orwell. It is a political fable based on the events of Russia's Bolshevik Revolution. The Last Summer is set during the beginning of World War I, and it tells the story of Clarissa who loses her luxurious lifestyle. 24. Who won the Nobel Prize collection Gitanjali, which demonstrate faith, hope, and beauty of the world? The correct answer is letter B, Rabindranath Tagore. He composed the national anthem of India and won the Nobel Prize for Literature. He wrote Gitanjali. Mashu Bashu, he is the supreme Japanese haiku poet. William Shakespeare, on the other hand, he is known as the Bard of Avon. He is considered as the greatest dramatist of all time. James Joyce, he wrote Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake. Which Chaucer's collection of stories in verse depicting his skill as a storyteller and giving a vivid picture of English society in the 1300s? You've got it right, letter A, Canterbury Tales. This pertains to the collection of stories by Chaucer. The Song of Roland is a masterpiece written by Two Road. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is Mark Twain's 1885 novel condemning racism. Metamorphosis is a novella written by Franz Kafka where the character Gregor became a gigantic insect one day. Who brings the Gettysburg Address to give tribute to the Union soldiers of Civil War? Who is denoted by the pronoun he in paragraph 1, sentence 2. What is the meaning of the statement he is not happy until he pays back a wrong, actual or seeming? For number 28, let us focus on the given statement he is not happy until he pays back a wrong or actual seeming. The question is, what is the meaning of this? Letter A, we cannot answer this because unforgiving is not mentioned. Letter B, the camel never halts seeking vengeance by jumping on garments. Never stops is not mentioned. This is too specific. Letter C, this is irrelevant. The best answer is letter D. Happy is synonymous to the word pleasure, meaning the camel's pleasure is making right the wrong done against him. What does the word bar denotes in the selection? The righteous answer is letter C. It is said that there is hardly a bar of music which Beethoven did not rewrite at least 1,000 times. So looking at the question, we are looking for the denotation or the literal meaning of the word bar. We cannot answer A since we are not talking about notes. Letter B, the word hindrance is acceptable, albeit strip of wood is not comparable to the term hardly bar. So we're looking for the literal meaning of bar. Letter D, fence and court is not mentioned in the statement. So the best answer is letter D. Gate is the best answer because the question asks for the denotation or literal meaning of the word bar. Number 30. Which is the best declarative that tells the main idea of the selection? The best answer is letter B. Perseverance make a person attain his or her goal. Because, according to the statement, they persevere by trying and rewriting numerous times. We cannot answer letter A because wisdom is not mentioned. Letter C, success is measured by one's effortless creation? No. And letter D, accomplishment is for every person who waits for it patiently. So, a person will be successful if he just waits for it? No. Best answer is letter B. What rhetorical pattern was used in the text? The righteous answer is letter D, enumeration, because the author keeps on giving examples or elaboration. Chronological means stating items from the first to the last. While cause and effect, this means stating the cause, then the effect of the event. While comparison and contrast, this means that stating the similarities and differences of concepts. Which of the following could be the best title for the passage? Correct. The best answer is letter B, the three processes in memory, because it was mentioned in a person and in a computer. We cannot answer A because human brain was not mentioned, only human memory. Letter C, this is too specific. And letter D, it's not mentioned. Mike jumps every New Year's season, believing that he will become taller. The error in this sentence can be corrected using the following versions, except. Please be aware that the sentence states reason. The use of and is unnecessary because this means adding additional information and not stating the reason why Mike jumps. What is the topic sentence of the paragraph below? Remember, reviewees, the topic sentence, also called main idea, is the main thought in the selection, kung ano ba talaga yung pinag-uusapan. This answers the question, what is the text about? Most of the time, it can be seen at the first sentence of the paragraph. Sometimes, it can be seen on the last sentence. Medyo may mahirap na part kung saan hindi minsan nilalagay ni author yung main idea. Malalaman mo lang yung main idea after you have read the whole text. 35. All of the following are fragments except. So when we say fragments, this is a sentence that is missing either its subject or its main verb. For example, the girl is, or watering the plants. So may kulang. Going back to the options, we are looking for the sentence. Okay, we cannot answer letter A because it has missing parts. Letter B also has missing parts. When it comes to letter D, it has no verb. Letter C is the best answer for it is complete. Which of the following is not a run-on sentence? Yes, letter C is the correct answer. Run-on sentence is composed of two or more independent clauses joined together in a sentence without correct punctuation or conjunction. So when we say run-on sentence, dalawang sentences na pinagsama mo and from the word itself, run-on, nakalimutan mo, tumakbo ka. Inalisan mo, nakalimutan mong lagyan ng punctuation or conjunction. For example, number 1, he was tired, he fell asleep at once. This is wrong. How to correct this? It should be he was tired, comma, so he fell asleep at once. Number 2, my father is brilliant accountant. He works in a prestigious bank in the city. So this is wrong. To correct this, it should be my father is a brilliant accountant, period. He works in a prestigious bank in the city. Going back to the options, letter A, we cannot answer this because I play the violin for many musicals. Further, I tutor 30 students. First is walang period and comma. It should be, I play the violin for many musicals. Period, and then further, and then comma. Letter B, the energy went out, I searched for the candles. So in this sentence, there is no conjunction so to state reason. So to make this right, it should be the energy went out, comma, so I searched for the candles. Letter D cannot be answered because there's no conjunction nor punctuation. It should be the first raindrops fell, comma, so we ran for cover. All of the following are parallel except letter D is the correct answer. Parallelism, this gives clarity, coherence, and unity in both speech and writing. The correct conjunctions is necessary to achieve this. Be sure to join words, phrases, or clauses with same grammatical forms. Okay. Example, Imelda is sure and she is efficient in her work. So, hindi parallel yung sentence. It must be, Imelda is sure and efficient in her work. So, dapat parehong adjective. Number 2, I like to eat and sleeping. So, dito, hindi rin sila magkamukha. Dapat maging magkamukha. So, if you're going to do sleeping, dapat eating ang partner niya. Pagka gagamitin mo to eat, dapat ang partner niya to sleep. Okay. Let us look at the options. Letter B, we have matters to attend, people to meet, and sites that must be visited. So, this is correct because everything is in future action. Same with letter A. She left me happy, contented, and at peace. Everything or all the underlined words are adjectives. C. I enjoyed my work because of the opportunities it offers, the plethora of benefits I receive, and I earn a good pay. So, these are all nouns. Letter D. My uncle set the main course and fixed the sweet course. The problem here is that they do not belong to same grammatical form because the first one is present tense, the other one is past tense. So, making letter D the answer. So, siguro kung wala si letter D, you can answer letter B kasi hindi magkamukha. To attend, to meet, dapat to visit, diba? Pero, since mas mali si letter D, we are looking for the worst one here, the answer is letter D. What is the suitable subordinator to be used to complete the sentence? The righteous answer is letter D. So when do we use when? We use when for two actions that both happened in the past. Pero nauna mo ng isang action before the other one happened. For example, Razel was sleeping when the ninja van came. While is used to state two actions that happened at the same time. So, parehong nangyayari. For example, Razel cleans the floor while Oliver washes the dishes. Where naman, this is referring to a particular place or position. This is the place where Razel thought letter view. Because this means for the reason that Razel is happy today because of her breakfast. 39. Razel slept. The answer is letter D. Usual word order when two or more adverbs modify a verb is adverb of manner first, followed by frequency, then place, time, cause or reason. So, Razel slept soundly in her air-conditioned room last night. At this time in the succeeding month, I blank. The correct answer is letter C. Here I have here the complete explanation of when to use the tenses and then we have the aspects of the verb. So now I will let you to study this framework, but on the other videos I will be able to explain what is this framework and how this goes. So going back to the options, will study is only used for the future tense. Will have been studying is action that is happening before, now, and up to the future. It must have been months, meaning from now until the succeeding months. Will be studying, this is future progressive. It emphasizes interrupted actions on the succeeding ones, meaning the action is not occurring right now. The difference between B and C is that yung letter B, nangyari na siya noon, nangyayari ngayon, mangyayari pa sa future. Si letter C, hindi siya nangyayari ngayon, mangyayari pa lang siya on the future. Letter D, past tense. The excellent actor can blank even the most intricate questions. In this item, we are dealing with phrasal verbs. When you say phrasal verbs, these are verb plus adverb or preposition. So if you add this 3 or 2, you'll get a new meaning of word. For example, fall in line, cope with. So mali pala yung sinasabi nila na cope up, ha? That is informal English. It should be cope with. So let's define each phrasal verb. When you say get across, that means to manage to communicate an idea clearly. Yan, yung kaya niyang magsalita. Yan. Get through, that means to pass a difficult experience. Get away, to skip after committing a crime. Get along, to have harmonious or friendly relationship. So, siguro kung wala si letter A, pwede mong i-answer si letter B. Kasi very suitable si letter A. Ito na naman tayo. Kailangan nating mamili between the two. And the best one is letter A. Kasi we are talking about answering the question, and that is letter A. 42. I was simply making a tongue-in-cheek comment. I didn't mean to offend him. The underlined idiom means the answer is B. So, idioms, ano ba to? These are type of figurative language that adds color and fun to one sentences. Yan. So, yung mga common idioms natin ay yung piece of cake, which means easy, ano pa? Raining cats and dogs, which means it's raining heavily, and others. So, my suggestion is for you to be familiar with the common idioms na lumalabas ulit, and these are just some. The faculty decided to give their boss, A or Anne blank, handbag on her retirement. The best answer is letter C. Long-wished, elegant red Louis Vuitton leather. So, if you're going to describe adjectives in series, dapat mauna muna yung mga determiners. Tapos yung opinion, followed by the size, shape, age, color, and then the origin, material, and then the qualifier. Which declarative contains an error? What Philippine literary period is used as context of the story? It is right. Spanish time. Nick Joaquin is the Filipino author who uses Hispanic Filipino culture in his writings. And another keyword is the word carriages.